It's not make or break time this game, but you definitely want the momentum, you definitely want home ice, and you want to control your own destiny.
You see that smile on Russell Wilson's face? That is not just $1 million smile. That is a $140 million smile.
It's an NHL draft year for you. How have you been able to kind of deal with the pressure that comes with that and just focus on hockey?
You know the name Ryan Leaf, Cougar hero, a Heisman finalist, the quarterback drafted right after Peyton Manning, a bust. But that's just half his story.
And so far, this series has lived up to the hype. The U.S. Division Silvertips took Game 1.
That initial breakup becomes very awkward. Well, that's pretty much what happened with Seahawks and Chris Richard.
What is it about your mentality when you guys are on the goal line or you're up against the wall that you just seem to rise to another level?
Today is a fun one for all golfers because what is one thing that every golfer wants?
Club head speed.
We also just found out who is all-conference MCC soccer, so I have to cut that, write that, and get going.
I'm just going to go straight in for this.
That's a perfect bite right there.
Oh. This is so good.
That was one heck of a hockey game. Tri-City absorbed Everett's first 10 minutes and then really controlled the game from there, thanks in large part to the third line, Max James, Parker Acoin, Riley Sawchuk. They counted for 3 goals just from that unit, and after the game, Coach Williamson said you need that scoring from your depth if you're going to make a long run. So they're returning home with the split. Mission accomplished.
2 good hockey games, and both were close.
Just one day off between games. The team is traveling back as we speak. Sunday off day, and then back at it for Game 3 on Monday. Everett's faithful showed up with 6,400 people tonight. I want to see the Toyota Center rocking at full capacity. That's my challenge for you. All right, that's going to do it for me from a now empty Angels of the Winds arena. Hopefully not my last trip here. Bridget, back to you.
The WIAA State Wrestling Regionals are this week. Dozens of local wrestlers are already on their way to the tournament. Some are there. Chihuahua is taking a school record 24 this weekend. Victor Silva is one of them, trying to advance to the state tourney for the 2nd straight year. And there is something very special about the senior.
If you listen closely at any sporting event, you get a pretty good understanding of what's happening. Whistles blow, fans yell, chants, crowds cheering again and again, building till it creates a chaotic electric atmosphere. Now press mute. All is quiet. Sight and feel take over.
If people are yelling, I can feel the vibration. You know, when they have their music going on, I can feel it when it's just getting that excitement going on. That's what gives me the confidence. That's what I get excited about.
Chihuahua wrestler Victor Silva is deaf, but he's also a trailblazer. Victor is the first American Sign Language deaf wrestler in the state of Washington.
People just kind of look at me as, oh, it's a deaf person. They can't do that. Well, I said, yeah, I'm obviously wrestling. I go to practices, and it doesn't matter if I'm deaf or hearing, I'm a wrestler.
I've had quite a few conversations with Victor over the last few years about him realizing what he's actually doing and how important and how impressive it is. Not only that, he's one of the best in the state.
Being the first at anything means you must break down barriers. And in Victor's case, that means rule changes.
You know, they're saying it's illegal for an interpreter to go around the mat, but that's access to my communication. And how else am I supposed to do it? You know, when the coaches are yelling at their hearing wrestlers, I'm supposed to be able to see what they're saying.
We actually had to dive into like a national court case where they had a deaf student that was wrestling where they filed a lawsuit and won. You know, most people can hear at all times whether they're looking at their coach or not.
For me, I'm trying to always make sure that even if he can't see me, maybe he'll be in his peripheral. And if I ever feel nervous, I just kind of think about borrowing some of Victor's confidence too.
Obviously, this isn't the first setback the state qualifying wrestler has dealt with in his life. Just communicating from day to day is a work in progress.
Let's work it out. Let's write it down. Let's try to communicate. If you're talking fast or there's no interpreter, you know, I can't memorize everything that you're trying to tell me. So I think just communication in general has been a challenge.
We're going to drink a lot of water. Eat, go get a good dinner tonight.
I wanted to learn ASL and I wanted to talk to him. Just learning things is a great way to connect with your teammates, especially one with, you know, that speaks a different language.
Every obstacle Victor faces, he approaches the very same way.
I don't believe in quitting. I never want to quit whatever I do.
He's a fighter, a confident fighter. You quickly realize why he's successful and why everyone gravitates towards him.
My hope is that Victor can be an inspiration to all the other deaf students out there, that they can be a part of school activities and school sports.
Meeting new people and getting out of your comfort zone is just something that I feel like everybody needs to experience.
I said that you can wrestle, you can't hear. In turn, I can hear, but I can't wrestle, so we make a good team. It's just the proof that deaf can do anything. As a deaf person, you know, it doesn't matter.
Really, really cool kid, very confident, very charismatic. But another interesting note about this story is Tyson, who you saw there speak about him, is a favorite in the state tournament. They're both wrestling 170s this year. But Tyson moved up so that Victor would have a clear shot to make it back to Tacoma. And I thought that was a really selfless and mature thing to let, you know, one of his good friends have the opportunity to make it back to state.
Welcome back. I'm live from the Toyota Center again because the Ams just keep on winning. I don't know if they've enjoyed being at home more than being on the road because they're a perfect 7 for 7. What we do know is, though, they are averaging over 5 goals a game when they are in their own barn, and they have a chance to close it out on home ice once again because Morgan Geeky and company just lit it up last night, and they held off a really scary victorious surge in the third period, which sets up a little bit of history. If the Americans win tonight, it would be the first time in franchise history they've ever won back-to-back rounds in sweeping form. I'm trying not to jinx it, especially considering how lethal the Royals looked late last night.
Don't want to lose any games, but you know, we know how strong of a team they are, and we're going to give them as much credit as they deserve. They're a hell of a team, and we're prepared for anything, and we're ready, you know, to go to 7 or to stay here, so we're good for whatever.
We want to win every game we're in, and we want to end it here. So we just got to play our game well and work hard.
We can't look too far ahead. We want to kill our instinct in the first period and make sure we set the tone. Our fans always give us extra energy. The building's great. The atmosphere should be good. Our guys are excited, but not. They're not looking far ahead. They're looking to having a good start.
My big concern is how much momentum did Victoria gain in that 5-goal third period? If you're the Ams, you cannot let that bleed over into the first period. So reestablish yourself as the dominant team and get that first goal. It's very vital, just like any other time. Okay, all right. There was more games going on, not just here. CBC Sports Complex, very busy. Softball and baseball starting on the bump. YVC and Hawks, plenty of local kids on both rosters. Top 3, 2 in scoring position. Zach Itzkeep drives this to center. That's going to be deep enough. Tanner Parker tags and comes home. Yaks go up 2-0. Next half inning, 2 on for CBC. Connor Kiefer rips this one back up the middle. The Kamaikan product, Ryan Deering, comes in to score, and they're down 1, and they want a whole lot more. Later in the inning, big number 34, Luke Shekirk golfs it high. Oh, we're going to have a play at the plate. Cole McKenzie's throw is on the money. Jack Kitchoff, a nice tag. Great play by the Southridge alum. YVC bats break it wide open from there. A big win in Game 1. All right, just across the batting cages, same rivalry on the softball diamond. CBC riding a 3-game winning streak. First batter of the game, Diamond Franco showing off the pop. Deep and bye-bye, a solo shot. Hawks up 1-0, 1 batter in, and then moments later, Amanda Miller takes off for third. It's a bad throw. So CBC's first 2 batters of the game score. It's 2-0 after the first. Next inning, Alex Lopez smacks it just over the glove. Pasco's own makes it 3-0. We'll have the final score tonight at 11. All right, one last note from here before we go. Juuso Valimaki is not in the lineup again tonight because we do not know. The team hasn't announced. He wasn't in the game last night. That gives us even more reason, if you're the Ams, to close this out in 4 games and get some rest. All right, guys, back to you in the studio. Let's go out to the Toyota Center, the start of a 3-game week for TC. Friend turned foe, Jeff Raymond returns to the Tri-Cities. First period, down 1. Turnover, Brett Leeson snaps it home. We slap hands of this because we're all tied headed into the first break. Rylan Peranto, very good after letting in that early goal. He makes a quick glove save in point-blank range, 12 saves in the second. Later in the period, power play time, Parker Wotherspoon snap, Tyler Sandu, back of the net. Blow the horn, Ams are in front. To the third we go and cue the Juuso Valimaki show early in the frame, right down the slot, buries the rebound. So check it out, we got 1 turkey, Thanksgiving, and he's pretty happy there. Minutes later, in the slot again, and somehow this one is going to squeak on through, so we got a second turkey, and he's getting progressively happy. Could he get the turkey, the bowling turkey? Well, he looks like a bowling ball going straight at the goalie. Gets roughed up and then somehow slips it home. So here's the third. Yes, that's a natty hattie. Even count those little feathers. 1, 2, 3. The turkey nose. 5-1. The final for the red, white, and blue. NCAA tournament D3 Sherwood Center would sold out. It was great atmosphere. Blues down 2 at half, but you wouldn't know it. They're laughing. After the break, Austin Butler in transition finishes at the rim, part of a 6-0 run to grab the lead. And Witt City is insane. I love it. All right, Darnay Duckett going to the rim. Not the biggest guy, not afraid of the contact. Gets it to go. 11 points from the sophomore. And then Butler, a few possessions later, little back scooping flip, part of an 18-7 run. 18 for the MVP's final game at the Wood. And then Joey Hewitt from the NCAA dot. Even his guy, Steph Curry, would be impressed with that. Witt City in awe. Blues shoot 51% in the second half, capturing another Sweet 16 berth and avenging their lone loss of the year. And these quarterbacks have a little bit of history. Garrett Horner beat out Josh Fauner for the Hanford job 2 years ago. So you know both of them want this game. 2-minute drill. Fauner over the middle to Ryan Kriskovich. Deuces wild. Yak, 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 yak. 37-yard score. 14. We're all tied at 14. Third quarter, Richland leading by 4. Fauner going to take his shot. Ben Fuel on the other end of it, wide open, cuts across the field. 69 yards later, pay dirt. It's 11-point lead for the green and gold. 2 plays into the fourth quarter, and Bomb Squad popping off. 2 plays into the fourth quarter, Dylan McElderry right up the middle, 19-yard score. Falcon bad boys open up big holes for their running backs, and we have a game here. But the very next drive, red zone visit. Fauner, the lefty, back of the end zone. Drew Daves taps the feet. He's in. 10-point lead. And that would be enough for Fauner and the Bombers. They secure the second 4A seed heading into next week.